Good afternoon, everybody. Just a quick update. We are back from our trip to Nashville visiting family and had a lot of fun. It was too short, but we do have an opportunity to go racing this weekend at our local track, which will be Lodi, Kingdon Dragway. I guess they were supposed to race last weekend, but we had a bunch of rain, so they postponed it to this weekend coming up. And as you can see, the weather has turned. It's springtime here. Everything's blooming. Apple trees blooming. The pear trees already got some. That's a pear tree right there. That's already got some buds on it. So, we turned the corner on that. The cool weather. Hopefully, looks like the weather's gonna be good. So we'll be able to go racing this Saturday. It's Saturday and Sunday, so we'll see how Saturday goes. Who knows? We might go down both days, but nonetheless, one small issue I've noticed with this is when I fire it up cold, it seems like it has a little rough and maybe like a slight misfire or something when it's cold. As soon as it warms up, it's fine. So doing the little reading online is something that totally makes sense. Is obviously as things warm up, they'll expand. So maybe check. Retorque your intake manifold, and maybe it's as the aluminum heads get hot and expand a little bit, it seals up. So that made sense. And the good thing with this box R, you don't have to completely take it all apart to get to all 12 bolts. You do have to use an extension and a swivel, but I was able to retorque everything, using the proper torque sequence. And they all were a little bit loose. So I've gone around it about 3 times, and everything is torqued down. That says 18 foot-pounds. I torqued these all down to 20. So they're all pretty good here and clicking off. They're all clicking off at 20. So I've gone around 3 or 4 times. But anyway, that should help. One other thing I was probably going to do is put my Motorcraft distributor back in. Just drop that back in. I did check the timing when I got back and fired up the car just to make sure the battery was charged. I fired it up and just let it idle and come up to temp. Drained the little catch can, and it had just a couple tablespoons of water, which I'm sure was condensation. So everything is looking good. I checked all the fluids. I'm going to go ahead. Obviously, I checked all the tires and everything before we were supposed to go last time, but I'll do that again. And I went around and cleaned up the rims a little bit. So we should be in pretty good shape for racing this weekend. My son is going to go down with me on Saturday to Kingdon Drags on the 20th. And again, I don't think they have a timing system, but we'll take our draggy, making sure all the electronics are charged now. So we'll get all these charged up. The GoPro, that's a little DJI camera. I don't use that much. I'm not very good with it. So anyway, but we'll take it. My son will be filming, so maybe he'll play around with it. And then, the draggy's got its own little charger, so that's fine. Laptop's charged, so all of that's looking good. I got it. The red can is my 91 plus E85 mix that I take. So I'll put half of that in the tank before we leave. Have a couple gallons in there. I think I'm sitting right about an eighth of a tank right now. So I'll put it up to a quarter. Then we'll take the 2 gallons with us. Put it in the back of the truck. And then again, we do have. We'll get to try our new 7-foot aluminum ramps for loading. So I should be able to drive the car on and off the trailer with those, particularly with my son helping me. I just want to make sure the headers aren't going to drag or anything going over the dovetail portion. That has been the trickiest part, is making sure the headers don't scrape the dovetail part. So as long as all of that's good and he keeps an eye on it, I should be able to drive it on and off the trailer and not have to use the winch so much. Which is another thing. I will go ahead and I'm going to pull the battery off of the trailer that powers the winch, and I'll put that on the charger tonight, make sure that's ready to go in case we need it. But that trailer, it is wired so it charges the battery once it's plugged into it's got the 7-port plug, for towing. So it powers the trailer's got electric brakes, and it charges the battery when you're driving. So it should be fine. Maybe I'll just go out there with a voltmeter and see where it's at. But nonetheless, so anyway, we're starting our weekend race prep, and we will go from there. I did want to give another shout out to John Dirk, full throttle kind of guy. He did call me up. He made me some logos, which he didn't have to do, but he did call me. We spoke on the phone the other day, and he gave me some good information on if you want to get into merchandise and a couple places that offer discounts and stuff like that. So anyway, thank you, John. I appreciate that. And when I get up to Oregon, I'm going to look you up, man. So anyway, that's the update. And I do have a couple things coming in the mail. So this should be kind of fun. I ordered a quick release steering wheel. That should help getting in and out of the car a lot better. And I'll show you the issue I'm having with this and the way this, again, this is the first roll bar I've ever put in. And it was one, I don't have an issue with the quality of the cage itself, but a couple things that I should have put this bar down a couple inches, because when you swing this out here, basically when you're trying to get your foot through here, it's not very good, and it's probably easier. It's going to be easier for me to just leave this attached and take the steering wheel off and just slide over. I don't have a problem sliding in and out. It's just the steering wheel gets in the way. So I'll get a quick release wheel, and we'll see how that goes. But if that still is an issue, then we'll cut these bars out and we'll make new ones lower. I did want them to go further up, kind of straight, and then when you have the other, then you can put the pivots further down here, so you got more room to get your foot through here. So that's kind of this swing out for this type of bar in this where the turn is. That's as far as down as I could actually put this hinge area, because it starts to turn. So I actually wanted it to pivot further down here, but you can't. So anyway, that is the situation with that, and that's why I didn't even bother installing the. I do have these. I do have another set of hinges for the other side. These are Moroso, or they might be Competition Engineering, but anyway, I don't really recommend these. The ones that have the plug that go in each end and pivot, like what I think they call them a clevis, those are better than these, and that's what I should have got. So that was my mistake on trying that. But again, first roll cage I've ever done, so ever installed. But I'm happy with the fit and everything. But I should have realized basically what I did, because this was all pre-cut. I just put it to where it matched up best, and then for it to be legal for NHRA, it has to pass by your shoulder. So when I sat in it, it looked like it was in the right spot, and we welded it in because that's where it was pre-cut. That's kind of where it fit best. So anyway, what we should have done is cut a couple inches off of this to lower it down, and that's what I would recommend. This is the Wild Rides is the brand. They're pre-cut cage for Fox body. And I looked online and everything, and even the demo one they had online was mounted about this same spot, because obviously it wouldn't notch around if we put it right next to this one. So it'd probably be better if we went right under it, and the bar would go like this. And the easiest way to do that would just be to cut an inch or two off the bottom of this and just drop the whole thing down. So if I get this thing cut, if I cut out this bar and redo it, that's basically what I'm going to do, is just cut this off here and just drop the whole thing down a couple inches, just kind of re-weld it down here underneath this bar, the crossbar, and that should be fine. So, but I was also looking at maybe there's a seat that's doesn't have that's high as on the side. I don't know what the easiest option so far is just to try doing a quick release wheel, and we'll see what that does. If that gives me easy enough to get in and out. Even with the tilt wheel up, the steering wheel still gets in the way. So that's it for the updates. Kind of what I'm working on. Quick release wheel. I'm still debating on if I want to go ahead and put a 4-barrel on this thing and a single plane intake. I'm really thinking about that just to simplify everything. So that's real close. Or, I mean, I put a supercharger or a turbo on it, but then I need a dart block, or maybe switch over to a 351 stroker, make a 408, and then I can put a supercharger on that, no problem. I mean, I think those blocks are good up to 800 horsepower or so. So anyway, that is the update, and then get everything dialed in. Again, I still got a full bottle of nitrous we can mess with somewhere down the line. So that's the update, guys. I will post back when we get to the track, and hopefully we'll have some in-car footage from the draggy and all that good stuff. We want to beat a 686 in the 8th for a new personal best. All right, guys. Thank you. Have a good night.